Good afternoon to all our viewers. Good morning, good afternoon kung saan man kayo, panig ng mundo. This is our fourth live stream, and tonight we're very privileged to have two guests from California. We are 15 hours ahead of them, so it's midnight right now in California. Later today, we will be joined by Miss Joy Apostol and Marcel. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you, to thank all the sponsors of our previous projects. One is the Lapis ng Pangarap. Nakapag-raise po tayo ng sufficient amount to help 10,000 students in Anda, Pangasinan, and about 25 schools ay nabigyan natin ng mga resources a few months ago. The second project that we initiated is We Are in This Together, kung saan nakapag-raise po tayo ng 473,000 para sa Anda, Pangasinan. And meron din tayong mga friends from US who also supported us in this fundraising campaign. And this July, we will also launch the Adapt a School Brigada Eskwela, kung saan tutulungan po natin ang mga schools sa Philippines to raise funds transitioning to virtual learning dahil kailangan nila ng mask, kailangan nila ng sanitizers, and mga supplies. All right, so for today's learning target, the main emphasis is answering the questions from the audiences relating to teaching and learning, our life as a teacher or as an OFW, and meron din mga questions regarding teaching abroad applications. So we will try to answer those questions as well. And now it's 8:02. It's now 12:02 in California. We will welcome our two guests. One of them is a former PNU professor, and I've worked with her in Florida and in California. So we were together for 12 years. She is no other than Joy Apostol. Good morning, Joy.
Good morning na ba? Good morning.
Good morning in California. It's good afternoon in Singapore and Philippines.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. All right, so our second guest is a math teacher in California. She is Marty Sell. And hey, Marcel, welcome to our webinar.
Good morning, Sir Gani and Miss Joy.
Good morning, Marcel, and good afternoon to our audience in the Philippines and Singapore. Again, I want to thank you for joining us today. I know it's really difficult because you are on a different time zone. It's 12 in the morning right now in California. All right, kumusta ang family natin dyan sa California and the Philippines? Let's start with Joy. Kumusta ang family mo dyan?
We're doing great so far. It's been, what? Are we on pang ilang araw na ba ito ng stay home order namin? But nevertheless, from time to time, we are able to go out and have walks by the beach or along the trails para lang makalanghap ng fresh air, hindi yung hangin sa bahay. But yeah.
Yeah, we are all new to this COVID-19 pandemic, but I think we are adapting well as teachers as well, right? What about you, Maricel? How are you? Kumusta ang family sa Philippines and buhay dyan sa California nowadays?
Well, yeah, I live by myself, so my family is in the Philippines. They're doing good. Okay naman so far. Wala pa nagkaka-COVID sa amin. So, thank God. Okay naman.
All right. So again, I can't really emphasize how thankful I am in accepting this invitation to join our webinar entitled International Perspectives on Teaching and Learning. So again, thank you. We will try to make this like a casual conversation. We will try to answer the questions from our audiences mostly in the Philippines. So to start with, if you could share with us your journey as an international teacher, starting from the Philippines. And I know Joy is already on her 14th year, I think, in California. Is it 14? I think 14.
Oh, in California. In California,
Actually,
this is my 2008, 12.
yeah. Okay. So I will
This is
start.
my
All right. So I will start first to give a brief description of my journey as a teacher. I graduated at Philippine Normal University in year 2000, and I took yes, that's true. I took BS in mathematics, and sometime in March, there was a job fair in PNU, and I was hired by Miss Angie Rivera, who is now a teacher in Texas. And I joined St. Jude Catholic School in Manila for 4 years. So I taught there from 2000 to year 2004. And then in 2004, I participated in the US Philippines exchange teacher program under J1 visa. Together with Joy, we are in the same batch. And taught for 3 years in Florida. That was 2004 to 2007. And then from 2007 to 2016, I was a math teacher in Los Angeles Unified School District. And from 2016 to the present, I am now teaching here at Singapore American School. So this is my 20th year of teaching. Ang bilis.
Wow.
All right. What about you, Joy? What's your journey as an international teacher?
Yeah, my journey. So I graduated Bachelor of Secondary Education major in Chemistry, St. Mary's University in Bayombong, Nueva Vizcaya. And as soon as I graduated from college, I decided to not work in the province, although I had an offer from the high school of my college, but I decided to go to Manila and explore the big city. So I taught at St. Joseph's College in Quezon City for 2 years. And then I decided to take a break when I had my first child. But then at that point in time, nag-aaral na ako sa PNU for my master's. And the department heads of the then Department of Natural Sciences called me and invited me to teach in the university. So I said, why not? Okay, so I stayed at PNU for about 9 years until I came to the United States. Sabay kami ni Gani, nagkita kami sa hotel. I did not know na nagkita na pala kami sa PNU at that point in time, somewhere in time, because we were both from the College of Science, except that I am in the science department and he was a student sa math department. So doon nag-reconnect kami ulit when we were applying, and we flew together to West Palm Beach where I stayed for 4 years. And then after 4 years, matter of fact, after I got approved to teach sa Maryland, because we were then at that point in time where do I stay at West Palm or do I leave? So I applied at Maryland. I got the job. But Gani called. Sabi niya, Joy, may chemistry position dito sa high school. Gusto mo? So sabi ko, why not? Let me give it a try. So I flew to LA. I did the interview and everything, and I got the job. So 2008 to now, I've been here in LA Unified. It's been a journey, and I am loving the journey. Do I have regrets leaving my job as a university? Yes and no, because at that point in time, sa PNU, I already see my path of growth. I was then an associate professor, but the other part of it all is I have a family, and my family is growing. So I also have to consider what is better for my family. So I chose my family over my professional growth. So that's it. I've been here long enough. And kung si Gani ay ilang taon na sa pagtuturo, on my end, this is my 1993. I believe I'm entering my 28th year of teaching. So that's just my journey.
Thank you for sharing your journey, Joy, as a teacher. Joy is a friend of mine. She's
Yeah.
a close friend of mine, and we worked together from 2004 to 2016. We became neighbors, we're housemates, and pretty much we are family. All right.
Yeah.
Now let's listen to Marty Sell.
Okay.
So Marcel, go ahead, Marcel.
Well, I graduated from De La Salle University, staff, with the degree of Bachelor of Secondary Education in Mathematics and Computer Science. So I was accepted as an academic scholar. So after my 4-year course, required kami mag-teach for 2 years. So my first school was South, kalimutan ko pangalan, Southville International School sa may Las Piñas. It's in BF Homes, Parañaque. Malapit kasi yun sa house namin. We live in Las Piñas, so tricycle lang, nandun na ako. So, and then, after 2 years, sabi ko, tapos na ang aking contract to teach. So, nag-stop ako, nag-try ako ng ibang work in foreign exchange as a trader, but then decide din ako mag-enroll for MBA sa Ateneo. So walang future sa foreign exchange na work at that time because the economy was really bad. So I went back to teaching. So since malapit yung school sa Ateneo sa Rockwell, nag-apply ako sa Don Bosco, Makati. So, I taught there for 3 years. And then after that, I decided to apply to US. So, I've been teaching here in the US for 14 years now as a middle school math teacher. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Marcel. Yeah, I met Marcel, I think, in 2007 when I moved to California. We worked in the same school district, Los Angeles Unified School District. And then since then, we've been friends. So we've been friends for 13 years. So thank you for joining us, Marcel. All right. Before we will answer questions from our audience, we're going to give first a shout out to some of our viewers. Thank you for watching Ivy, Christian, Josephine Gonzalez, Crescencia, Ruth from Benguet, Lisa from Butuan City, Marlene from Tanza, Cavite, Arthur, Floriza from Surigao del Sur, Monina from Zamboanga del Norte. Thank you for watching. Enelita from Cagayan de Oro. Marlene from Manawag, Pangasinan. Floriza Capistrano from Surigao. Enelita from CDO. Leia from Katmon, Cebu. Enelita, thank you for watching our live stream seminar. Floriza and Christian. Again, if you guys have questions, please type your questions in the comment section and we will try to answer those questions. I received also several questions, so I put them together so that the guests can answer these questions in an orderly manner. All right, let's begin with our first question. Are you guys ready, Marcel and Joy?
All right.
All right. So last March, COVID-19 has changed everything, right? For now and for the immediate future. And a lot of countries transition from the traditional classroom setting to blended learning or e-learning. So Please share your experiences in Los Angeles Unified School District. How did you guys transition from traditional classroom to virtual learning? Should we start with you, Joy?
Okay, I'll go. Yeah, I'll go first. To be honest, it was not an easy transition kasi ang daming tanong, ang daming whys, ang daming hows, and also i-factor mo rin the fact na I have students that are English learners. When I say English learners, ang primary language nila ay Spanish. And then on top of that, meron din akong mga estudyante na special ed. Okay, so kailangan nila ng assistance. So i-consider mo rin yung mga yon. And then you also have students that are working or are helping their parents to earn money to pay for bills. And then other living factors like kumusta yung living conditions nila and everything. Meron ba silang access to computer? Kung meron man silang access to computer, meron ba silang reliable na internet connection? So all those things, ang daming tanong, paano ang gagawin mo? So the week after, immediately after, March 13 kami na March 13, that was the last day of the traditional instruction. So the week after that, I immediately sent, so I don't know if you're familiar, but for us here as a district, a lot of the teachers here are using Remind app. It's a Remind app. It's like, nagte-text ka sa mga estudyante mo and it's on a timely manner, they receive your message. So that was my communication tool to my students. So doon nila malalaman kung kailan kami mag-meet, anong oras, at anong platform. So in the beginning, dahil hindi pa naman automatically ina-approve ng district namin yung Zoom na conferencing tool, I decided to use yung conferences app. So we're just lucky sa district namin. We have a learning management system na effective to the point na you can post announcements there, you can post your assignments there, and many other things. So through the conferences app na naka-embed sa LMS namin, I was able to teach the lesson. Okay? So ganito, screen. Para akong hindi normal kasi I'm so used to writing notes sa aking notebook na naka-project sa screen, or I'm using the whiteboard behind me, or I move around from table to table because I'm a chemistry teacher. So the first week, it went fine. Marami akong estudyante na nag-a-attend. Umabot pa ako as much as 30, I believe. And then the week after that, ganoon pa din. And then slowly, nagda-die down. So it's difficult na kunin mo yung kanilang attention and how to engage them. So luckily, on the second week yata, or on the third week, yung district, they provided trainings for us, teachers, na so ito yung mga tools na pwede ninyong gamitin para makakapagturo kayo virtually sa mga estudyante nyo. So yun yung ginamit ng karamihan sa amin para maging effective pa rin kaming mga teachers kahit virtual na yung platform ng pagtuturo namin. So that's my point. Marty?
Yeah. Thank you, Joy. We will go into detail some of the things that you've mentioned about LMS or Learning Management System later on. But right now, we're going to hear first from Marcel. Marcel, it's your turn. Please share your experiences during virtual learning at Los Angeles Unified School District.
Okay, so Joy and I, we work in the same school district, Los Angeles Unified School District. So mostly, kung ano yung sinabi niya, same experience. But then, personally, because ever since, just take into consideration your experience. I've been teaching 7th grade for 14 years in the same school. So, same content, same standards, same. So, I always integrate technology in my lesson. So, personally, hindi ako nahirapan na um, tawag dito, gamitin yung technology in my instruction. But ang struggle ko talaga yung student engagement. Kasi may mga bata na hindi na gumagawa. Feeling na nila bakasyon sila. At and meron kasing in US, ang middle school, walang accountability if they fail. So they know the system. So, but if there's a support with the parents, yun ang dun ako yung mga bata gumagawa. Pero without the parents support, wala talaga, hindi gagawa. So, positive communication sa parents. So, first 2 weeks, ang lesson ko, puro review. Wala akong yung lesson yung nag-start kami na stay home and remote learning. Puro review lang kami. Ako, binibigay ko review. Hindi ako nagbigay ng new lesson. Just making sure na yung students ko may access sa internet and may Chromebook sila. So, yeah. But then, of course, may mga teachers na hindi naman technology-oriented. Yun, meron kami mga teachers talagang struggling talaga.
All right. Thank you, Joy and Maricel. Thank you for sharing your experiences doing virtual learning in Los Angeles. Now I will be sharing my experiences also here at Singapore American School. Oh, yeah, I mentioned it. So the transition is easier, I think, here in Singapore because for the past 3 years, we've been using Google Classroom to facilitate our instruction. In fact, our school is an Apple distinguished school. So also preparation is really the key transitioning to virtual learning. Beginning in March, the leadership team rolled out the continuity of instruction plan. So teachers had training for 3 weeks. And then before spring break, we also had a chance to practice for 2 days the virtual learning plan that we have for our students. And then after our spring break for 2 weeks, that's when we roll out the virtual learning. That was from first week of April to the first week of June. Again, it was really easy transition for us because we have a one-to-one laptop here in Singapore. As you know, internet access also here in Singapore is really great. In fact, during the virtual learning, we have better attendance than the regular classroom setting. I think one of the major challenges that we encounter, though, from April to June, is how do we make the assessment more authentic? So it's a learning curve. We learn as a teacher how to use different assessment tools, which is our next question. So I'm not going to go into detail for that for now. But again, the transition is really difficult rolling out the curriculum and the assessment tools. So as a professional learning community, that became our focus from April to June, coming up with assessment plan for the students. And also, the main emphasis of our virtual learning is not the assessment, but the focus is on learning and feedback. So we're giving more assessments based on the formative assessments rather than summative assessments. All right. So here's our next question. This is the next question from Rose from Facebook. This is related to our question number 1. I know some of you, Joy and Marcel, you've mentioned some of this already. But the question is, what online assessment tools do you recommend for our students? Again, the question is, what online assessment and data tools do you recommend for the teachers in the Philippines?
Matter of fact, siguro as I listen to your stories, in all these weeks of pandemic, nagpa-test pa rin ako online sa mga estudyante ko. I just have to give them a test and I have to quiz them. If, so my assessments are linked to Schoology. So meron, it's the same learning management system where you can create your own test through the learning management system. Now, the other thing that I use, because it's really a very reliable tool, it's called the CK12. And CK12 does not only cover science, it also covers math, social studies, and many other subjects. Um, I believe it is free. You can access it. So the way it works is you just have to register, create an account for yourself, and then the students, and then it will generate. You have to create a class, and then it will generate a code. That is the same code that you have to give to your students so they could access your class. I just do not know if it's going to work in the Philippines, considering reliability of internet connectivity and stuff like that. But it's good because with CK12, the one thing that I like with it is the fact that meron na siyang reading for that specific lesson, and then it has an assessment. So, i-quiz niya ikaw. Kung hindi mo ma-master hindi mo ma-reach yung proficiency level, it will keep on generating the questions. But as soon as you reach that 100% threshold, it will ask you a question. Do you want to continue or you stop? So that was one of the things that I personally used, and I just assigned it as extra credit for my students because they needed it so badly. The other thing that we are using as a district is Edgenuity. That is something that you have to pay for. Hindi na ito libre. For us, because we work for the district, we can just access it anytime because it's just there on our learning management system, and we just have to create an account, enroll our students, and boom. Okay, the students can use it, and along with it, there is a progress monitoring tool that teachers can use to see progress of students. Okay, for this summer school, that is my intent to use Edgenuity and see how it works, so that if we will still continue using this blended learning or in the fall, then I can use Edgenuity, I can use CK12, and then I can use the online textbook. And speaking of the online textbook, the new textbook that we adopted has an online, an e-text version, and along with that, again, has all the features that as a teacher you would love because may assessment na siya doon. And it's the same thing, meron din siyang progress monitoring tool. Kung ayaw mo yung assessment na naka-embed na sa libro, you can create your own question. And you can link it to your Google Classroom, or you can assign it as a Google assignment, whatever your choice is. Yeah, so that's just my experience personally.
Thank you, Joy. Those online tools also, we're using them here in Singapore. Marty Sell, what about you? I know it's the same experience from all other teachers in Los Angeles, but if you have other assessment tools that you use, could you please share it with us as well?
Okay, so si Ma'am Joy is a chemistry teacher. I'm a math teacher, so meron kaming commonalities ano yung mga digital tools na ginagamit namin. So, like what Ma'am Joy said, Schoology. Kasi meron doon, this is a learning management system ng Los Angeles Unified School District. You can create tests and quizzes through Schoology. So, kasi ang mga estudyante ko, they're being tested for the Common Core. So, ang mga assessment ko is talagang I created it aligned to Common Core. And then I also use CK12, and advertise ko na rin kasi my batchmates in LaSalle were planning to help also Filipino private and public school teachers. So meron kaming um, webinar in the future. So I'll post in my Facebook regarding Schoology. So yung Schoology, pwede pala siya sa Philippines. Nag-sign up,
Oh.
yeah, then pinag-sign up ko rin yung sister ko as my student. And then yung CK12, pwede siyang i-embed kahit nasa Philippines ka sa Schoology. So try to explore that. And ginamit ko rin yung Nearpod, but Nearpod, it's an interactive platform. Hindi siya libre. And kailangan may account ang school and everything. Delta Math, it's also it's a free website. Khan Academy for math. So, like for me, I use Remind app also to communicate with parents. But then I've heard from my other friends na ginagamit nila CISO. And similar to Flipgrid. Okay? Kasi ina-address na yung different learning styles or modalities of the student. So, for example, yung Flipgrid, pwede nila picturean yung work nila. Or instead of, solving siguro sa math, so picture nila yung work nila. And probably not, it's also applicable in other subject areas. So, what else? So, ang importante lang talaga, merong sinasabi ngang central hub, yun ang sinasabi nila, na yung teacher where to post the assignments, kahit anumang digital tool yan or resources or online resources, maraming magaganda na libre pa. So, ang importante lang, may central hub nga ang teacher where to communicate with the students. Kasi ang common na complaints sa mga teachers, ay ng mga parents sa mga teachers, ang daming platforms. So, nalilito sila. Saan ba yung assignment? Saan ba natin na makita? Yung gano'n. So, kung Google Classroom, okay, i-train ng bata kung paano gumamit ng Google Classroom. Kasi marami rin mga magagandang apps ang Google Classroom. So, instead of Nearpod, gumamit ka ng Pear Deck. May Pear Deck ang Google Classroom.
Yeah.
In terms of assessment, meron silang Google Forms. Ano pa ba? Google Slides instead of yung PowerPoint.
Google Suite.
Or Google Suite. Yeah. So explore nyo and then decide among your faculty with your department, ano ba yung maganda para address yung needs ng mga bata. That's it.
Thank you, Joy and Marcel. Now, I'm going to be sharing my experiences as well here in Singapore. I'll try to project this screen. Let me see. All right. Before I will share my assessment tools here in Singapore, I just want to say hi to Liza Durango and Ricky Ridilias. They have 2 questions. I think we can answer this based on this question number 2. Ang question ni Liza ay, what are the best practices you have in teaching math? And for Ricky, the question is cheating, sana nawala? Basically, his question is cheating a problem in your online assessments? So here in Singapore, we know there's tons of online assessments and data tools available. But for me, my suggestion for the teachers out there is to limit to just 3. Limit to 3. That way you don't overwhelm yourself and also the students. So for math, I use Khan Academy, IXL, and Edelastic. So these are the 3 assessment tools that I use. Why Khan Academy? For the Khan Academy, I think that this can address Ricky's question on the cheating problem. So for the Khan Academy, what I did is I created a class where I can assign classwork, practice, quizzes, and assessments. And you can also, there's an option also that allows you to create different but similar questions to every student. So that avoids the cheating components of the assessment. And it's free. It's free for all the students and teachers. So the other important element of Khan Academy is you will get the results right away. And it will give you the progress of every single student. Again, I mentioned a while ago that the emphasis during virtual learning should be the feedback and the learning. And this is the main reason why I chose Khan Academy. It gives you specific results and progress of every student. I also use IXL. IXL is available for math teachers, English, science, social studies, Spanish. So we have different languages as well. For the IXL though, if you can access it for free, but it has limitations. At our school, we purchase subscriptions for every student, so it's unlimited access. So the same thing, there is a dashboard that gives you progress for every single student. And you can also see how many hours they spent, how many questions they answered, and so on. And the third one that we use sometime in May is Edulastic, because we also want to use, we want to create assessments that are very similar to our paper and pencil assessments. So Edulastic can be accessed free, but also at our school, we have a subscription for every teacher. It costs $100 though, but I think it's worth it. If you look at these three tools that I've mentioned, Khan Academy, Edulastic, and IXL, they have commonality. And the commonality is providing feedback for the teachers and students. Because with virtual learning, again, the most important thing is focusing on the learning and feedback and seeing the progress of every student. So I hope that answers your question, Ricky and Lisa. We will try to answer other questions later. And our third question, I'm gonna put you back, Joy and Marcel. The third question is regarding homework.
Okay.
How can teachers best use homework in virtual learning? What tips can you share with other teachers?
Mahirap na tanong yan because even in the traditional classroom, I am a person that does not believe in homework, just to be honest with everyone, okay? So the only homework I give my students is any unfinished business in the classroom. It has been a battle and we cannot penalize the students for not doing their homework. Mahabang discussion yan sa aking school side. The math teachers, they do that. But for me as a science teacher, we don't do homework. So ang homework namin as a department is anything that they did not finish in the classroom, that becomes their homework. Pero kung yung mag-assign ka talaga ng homework na gagawin mo, no. Not unless it is an honors chemistry class na mas rigid yung class, mas structured. But if it's just a regular chemistry class, I don't. However, nung nag-transition kami into the virtual learning, there was the memo from the district was very clear na assignments must be posted. Okay, assignments must be posted sa learning management system namin every Monday. So nakalagay doon. So technically, lahat ng ina-assign namin, it's already considered as a homework. Okay, some people will join me in my 3 days a week of instruction via Zoom. Some of them will join me during my virtual office hours after my live instruction, but the majority of my students don't. And I'm being honest, hindi talaga. Karamihan sa kanila hindi din nagsasubmit ng kanilang trabaho. So the assignment virtually, that is a struggle. Okay, so I don't know from Marisol's end, but just to give you an idea kung ano yung community that I serve, My school serves a 99.9% free and reduced lunch. So that will tell you na it is an urban school na paano ba di-describe ang kanilang socio-economic status? Low. Okay? So hindi high ang socio-economic status ng mga families ng students that I serve. And with that, you have to consider, again, as I've said in the beginning, there are so many variables that you have to consider and factor before mag-assign ka ng homework sa mga bata. Kaya ang homework in virtual learning, I really do not know how it's gonna work.
Thank you, Joy. I know your school is a high poverty school, so
Yeah.
it's really a challenge. Marcel, what about you? Regarding homework in virtual learning, what's your view on that?
Kasi ang aking grading system talaga may component ng homework. But very little percentage, ano lang, 5% actually. But then, ano lang yan eh, creativity. So, for example, in my case, I would assign a YouTube video or something you also created. So, homework, watch, or give the link, diba? Tapos watch the video. And then, yun lang, assignment na yun. And then, when you have a Zoom meeting or meron kang test, incorporate mo ano yung napanood nila sa YouTube. Pwede rin class discussion sa meron kasi mga like Schoology kasi meron yung class discussion yung parang thread ng discussion na kayo yung gano'n, no? Diba? Or yung Edmodo, merong post ka na question, what have you let's say sa math, let's say yung topic mo is geometry, so ano yung lesson regarding, let's say, angles or whatever. So, magpo-post ka ng question, pwede na yun, homework, watch the video, tapos pwede ring sa school namin kasi meron kaming problem of the week. Kung sobrang namang dami yun, kasi four problems, so pwede mga problem of the month. So, pwede yun, as a homework na rin. So, ang maganda kasi dito, sa school namin, kung ano yung ginagawa nung, let's say ako, 7th grade teacher, ginagawa rin yun ng other 7th teachers. So, pare-parehas kami ng mga binibigay na homeworks. Kasi may possibility kasi na yung mga bata pwede mag-change ng classes. So, pwedeng makuha ko yung estudyante yung dating estudyante ng isang teacher, mapunta sa akin for whatever reason. Pero, yun nga, ang homework sa math is very important kasi kailangan ng practice. Like in procedural skills, kailangan.
Thank you, Joy. And Maricel, sa Singapore American School naman, we have a different protocol regarding homework. Ang amin, homework maximum time is 30 minutes. So although sa math, we always give homework on a daily basis, we're using standards-based grading here at Singapore. And homework is just part of the learning behavior grade. It doesn't affect their academic grade. And we assign homework if there's a need. In fact, during virtual learning, the teachers are highly discouraged to assign homework, especially if it requires using computer during virtual learning. Because the students are already in front of the computers from 9:15 to 3. That's a lot of screen exposure. So as much as possible, assign homework that doesn't require use of laptop or any gadgets. But again, it's difficult, right? Assigning those homework. Yeah. So also for us here in Singapore, in assigning homework, we assign them based on the needs for the students. So we have tiered assessments or tiered assignments. We call them the green, blue, black level questions, depending on the difficulty level. So the green level questions are the foundational and appropriate for the current grade level of the students. Every student is required to complete and master the green level questions. The blue, black level questions are higher level questions. And again, it's based on what type of students you're serving, right? Joy mentioned about her workplace. It's a different demographic. So again, when I worked in Huntington Park High School and the SSJ, it's a different setup. The emphasis is intervention. Here at school, at our school right now, our emphasis is enrichment. After 8th grade, we have students taking geometry, algebra 2 trig, pre-calculus or calculus in 9th grade based on their abilities. So we need to provide these tiered assessments and assignments to make sure that we address the needs of our students. It's not just the students with learning disabilities, but also providing enrichment for those students who are already at a higher level. So again, I think when it comes to virtual learning, don't assign assignments or homework just for the sake of giving homework. Do it if there is a purpose. And if you're giving a homework, I would say limit it to about 30 minutes of homework. Don't try to overcompensate what you can't give during virtual learning. Because let's face it, we can give a better instruction if it's an actual classroom setting. But during virtual learning, don't assign homework that will require 2 hours, 3 hours on the part of the students. It's unrealistic. And I know there's some different research about effectivity of homework anyways, right? But for me, for math especially, assign homework if there's a need, and as much as possible, try to have a different level of homework. That way you're addressing the needs of all students. All right, before we move on to the next question, we're gonna give shout outs first again to our viewers, and they have some questions as well, so we'll answer them later. Hi to Sherilyn Abadia. I know she has a question. Marianne Guevara, thank you for watching. Gemaline Ulay, Jacob Jexter, thank you for watching. Salvacion Aquino from Laguna. Emma Canilang from Caloocan. Marianne Guevara. He said hello to Ma'am Joy. April Joyce, thank you for watching. Jacob, Felisa, Marisa, and Elizabeth. And we have other viewers. John Paul, said, hi, Ma'am Joy. Kudos to Celzo Academy. Thank you guys for watching. All right. Are you guys ready for the next question?
Yeah.
All right. So the next question is about for the teachers. How can teachers make teaching more sustainable for them personally? Because as you know, let's face it, during the COVID-19, we have teachers who are also parents. They have to deal with their own kids doing virtual learning. At the same time, they're also teaching. So any tips for teachers to make the teaching more sustainable for them personally?
So, I'm married with kids. Si Seng is single. So, let me tell you what was happening in the house, okay? With my two middle school kids, they have a structured schedule from their middle school teachers. So, meron silang oras kung ano oras sila dapat mag-sign in sa kanilang Zoom classes para ma-check yung attendance nila. By the way, my children, my own kids, they go to a different school district. So they have a different structure kung paano nila ginawa yung kanilang virtual learning. So luckily, my kids are responsible enough and their sense of responsibility is okay na. So I don't have to worry about them. All that I have to do is check if they logged in, if they did their work, because I receive the emails from their teachers. So I know for a fact kung ano yung inassign ng teacher, kung ano yung dapat nilang gawin, kung ano yung due date ng mga assignments. Okay, so that's just my job, just to follow up, but not really to wake them up at gawin ng trabaho nila. No. So I just monitor them from time to time, and my college is my college daughter. She also knows what to do. So technically, I only worried about my own schedule. Dahil sila, they're on their own. They're responsible individuals.
Okay. Thank you, Joy. Marcel, what about you?
Ano lang, set office hours talaga to like communicate in terms of your work, and communicating with the parents or with the students. Scheduling lang talaga. Parang gawa ka rin ng schedule mo as if you're going to work. Yun lang, routine. Yun ang kailangan. May routine as a personally. Hindi lang yung, like, wala namang hindi na papasok, so late ka magigising. Hindi, kailangan para kang pumapasok pa rin sa work. And then, syempre, dapat ka rin, you have to think of yourself also. Hindi lang yung puro work. Kasi minsan nakakalimutan natin, ay, gabi na.
That's true.
Nagawa ka pa ng mga lessons online or whatever, So, ano pa ba? Tsaka make it, simple yung lesson and engaging lang talaga. Hindi kailangan super ganda na lesson. Basta, simple and engaging ang lesson. And talaga, maganda yung sabi ni Sir Gani, yung may feedback talaga, immediate feedback ang kailangan. Kasi, ang bata na, ay, sinubmit ko na yung work, hindi ko alam po ng grade ko. But if the student knows na, my teacher graded it already, ito yung grade ko. Kasi ang kagandahan sa virtual learning din, kung may immediate feedback, pwede nilang i-improve. They can still retake it. Let's say it's a math. Kasi like in Schoology, may feature and the student can make another attempt to improve their grades. So, but sa mga ibang subject area naman, like let's say yung project nila, pwede nilang improve pa. So, ayun lang. Yun lang, Sir Gan.
Thank you. Sa akin naman, I can't emphasize it more. Like yung sinasabi, well-being of the teachers is the priority. Yeah. Again, well-being, not just the students, but also teachers, that must be the most priority. I think yan yung one thing na really na-appreciate ko sa leadership team namin. And when we roll out virtual learning, our admin team says, don't start with a 10 right away. It's okay if you start with a 5. And then from there, you could improve your instruction, go to a 6, 7, 8, and so on. But don't start with a 10, and then you're declining over time. So also, I want to agree with Marcel when you said about structure. It's really important to have structure when doing virtual learning. Another thing for teachers, try not to be so hard on yourself and show yourself some grace. And kung hindi nag-workout yung plan niyo, and it does happen, it's okay. Don't get frustrated.
Yeah.
Another thing, I think I've also mentioned this in the other webinar. First is, it's okay to be predictable when you're doing your virtual learning. Second, less is more. Again, don't overcompensate what you need to cover in that 55-minute virtual learning. And the third is give clear instructions. So I call this the PLC. Be predictable, less is more, and give clear instructions. When I do math virtual learning, I try to divide my class in about 4 different structures. And as much as possible, I try to make the experience very similar to the actual classroom setting. So the students will begin with the do now for about 10 minutes, and then 20 minutes explicit instruction. And then I do Zoom activity where students can work with their groups. You can assign breakout rooms, groups of 4. And then as a teacher, you can go to this small group to provide intervention and just have a little discussion with your kids. In virtual learning, it's really important to have that connection and relationship with your kids. Laugh with them. It's okay if you don't cover your materials that 55-minute period. And also, the most important thing is the closing or the synthesis of lesson. Whether you have them join the breakout rooms or sometimes you want them to do independent work, whether offline or offline, make sure that they rejoin the big group like 5 minutes before the end of the class. That way, you can close and give synthesis for the lesson of the day. And
Gani,
also,
say something. Finish
yes,
it.
right.
What Gani is saying is works for him because his students are from a different demographics. I only meet my students, my honors kids, once a week for 2 hours, my regular kids once a week for 2 hours, and my avid kids once a week for 2 hours. And I don't get to use the breakout rooms that he is mentioning because at most, okay, I only get 8, 10, 15. So the breakout rooms, kahit inilagay mo yun sa plano mo na magbe-breakout rooms kayo, and then you don't even see the faces of your students on the screen kasi naka-mute sila, wala silang video. It's very frustrating, but you just have to smile, you know?
Yeah. Yes, that's the reality, right? We have different demographics, and I can't emphasize it more. At our school, again, we have different demographics, but our school, before we roll out the chat and video conferencing or the virtual learning, we have this norm that every student has to follow. And from the moment we start virtual learning, students are fine. They're following this. And again, it's not going to be perfect. You need to make some adjustments when rolling out virtual learning. But I think we're really fortunate to have this good group of kids here in Singapore. So again, different demographics, whether it's in the Philippines, US, or Singapore. So you need to learn how to adjust, right? How to adjust to the students that you're serving. For question number 5, I think in a way we have already addressed this. I know Joy mentioned about LMS or learning management system. But is there anything else that you guys want to add regarding question number 5? What online platforms do you use? I know you've mentioned some of this already. These are
mga friends sa ibang state, like, meron silang ibang LMS na ginagamit, learning management system, like Canvas.
Canvas.
Infinity Campus.
Yeah.
Marami. So, even yung formative, para siyang LMS na rin eh. Explore nyo lang kung ano. Bigyan namin kayo ng link sa mga online resources namin. So, na free. Yun yung pinaka-importante, yung free siya, diba?
These are just some of the these are just some available tools that you guys could use, and most of these are free. They're actually free.
Meron na rin Messenger in the classroom at saka Skype.
Yes. So these are just some of the tools. These are the options that you guys have. I think Marcel also mentioned Seesaw. I've mentioned Khan Academy. There's tons of resources, but again, just try to limit it to 3. Don't overwhelm yourself. Yes. Okay. So this. By the way, for math, also one thing that's really important is notability. I know there was a question regarding virtual learning. The question is, I can't remember the name of the person, if I can look for that later. But I think her comment is this virtual learning only for Q&A? Based on my experience, it's not. For my classes here in Singapore, it's like an actual classroom setting. So I do give direct instruction or explicit instruction using Notability app. So it allows me to post the question, and I also explain the step-by-step solution to the question. So I really love Notability app in math.
Yeah.
Sir Gani, free ba yan? Kasi naalala ko meron ako yan, hindi ko na alam kung...
Notability, I paid, I think, $10. So it's worth it. It's only like 400 pesos.
Saying Google has the note-taking app too.
Oh,
Although some apps are not good when you're writing.
yeah.
So I think this is more user-friendly.
There's also OneNote.
OneNote.
Yeah, and we have that for the district.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Something that you and I can explore.
But there are
Whiteboard, OneNote.
It's online note-taking.
Okay.
Joy and Marcel, it's gonna be overtime. I hope that you still have time to join us and answer some of these questions.
Yeah, no problem. Sige lang. Go ako dyan.
Okay.
Ikaw, Ma'am Joy. Pwede ka ba?
Alright. Before that,
so it's okay.
I hope we can go over some comments from other viewers later, so we could answer
I saw a question dito, and my heart broke, kaya akong humingiti-ngiti dito. I saw one question here about paano raw niya i-implement kung sa lugar niya walang kuryente. Paano ka mag-virtual doon? So to be honest, I don't have an answer. I have a friend in college na kumukuha ng PhD ngayon, and she's the department head ng kanyang department sa kanyang high school. So I gave her my resources for Earth and Space Science kasi ang gagawin nila ay modular. Because they know na they have the internet problem sa probinsya. So the approach they're gonna do is modular. So as how i-deliver yung mga modules sa mga estudyante nila, I do not know. But I just shared the resources that I have, and that's what she's going to use to develop the modules.
Yeah, Philippines educational system is really difficult to deal with, right? That's why DepEd is using the blended learning. Let's face it, a lot of areas don't have internet connection. So that's why meron silang modular approach. I know they mentioned about using radios and TV. I don't know how that works. But we have very hardworking teachers in the Philippines, and
very creative.
And I just hope that they work together. This is the time where we need to work, magbayanihan tayo, to share resources, and that's the main reason why we're doing this as well, to give some insights to the Filipino teachers and help both students and teachers as well.
Yeah.
Okay, here's our question number 7. In a way, we have addressed this question, but here it is. The question is, how do you ensure that all students, including students with special needs, are learning and receiving the support that they need during virtual learning?
You know, the funny thing, and I'll be honest, the majority of the students that attend my Zoom classes are my English learners and my special ed kids. The reason being, na iniisip ko na lang na reason is because sila yung may need, so kailangan nilang mag-attend ng klase. And the fact na the district said, everyone will pass with a D somehow. So yung mga nag-settle na sila with that thinking. So I could care less kahit hindi ako mag-attend, I'm okay. But I am just fortunate that I have a special ed TA that was assigned to me who will be connecting with my students, calling my students kasi I don't speak Spanish. So my TA will call yung mga families ng mga students ko and let them know na ito yung Zoom meeting, ito yung virtual hours, mag-attend kayo, ito yung mga assignments, whatever. So yun yung mga connections na took place on my end. That's the reason why I'm able to get my students to join my classes. And the fact that I guess very important talaga na you establish relationships with the people that you work with. You don't build wall, but you have to build a bridge. So I'm again very fortunate too that I have a very good working relationships with the special ed teachers in my school. So kung may problema ako sa bata, I just send them an email. Sila yung magko-communicate sa bata, and then the rest is going to be free flowing para ma-address yung needs ng mga special ed kids, ma-address yung needs ng mga may mga 504 plan, pati na rin yung mga English learners. So that's
Before we go, yeah, thank you, Joy. Before we go to Marcel, I just want to say thank you again to all our viewers. It's already 4:05. Thank you for joining us up to this time, and thank you, Joy and Marcel. I know it's already 1 a.m. in California right now, so inaantok na kayo niyan. All right. What about you, Marcel?
Ang hirap na tanong niya, no? How do you ensure that all students actually one class lang naman ako na may RSP class. So I tried na communicate with the parents through Remind, through Google Voice pala. Pero kasi ano lang yata to free to for US only. Ni-research ko na siya. So maganda siya for calling and texting parents. Yun yung Schoology namin. So, email, yun yung ginagawa ko para alam ko yung mga bata with special needs. Talagang will attend my Zoom meetings, and then if they have questions, sinasabi ko I'm available at this time, ganyan. And then I have a resource teacher then who's always present in my Zoom meetings, and then yun, I also ask help from them na kung pwedeng tawagan nila yung parents and follow up. Pero meron talagang, even the parents, wala silang magawa to help their child at their end.
Yeah.
Hindi natin maiwasan yun. Yun lang. Like, I have a parent nag-text sa akin, sabi niya, wala daw silang internet. And I even suggested na contact the principal and everything. And then, ang sagot niya, paano daw niya mako-contact kung wala siyang internet. And then I was just like, okay, you have the phone. So, talagang they will make excuses kung ayaw, kung sa ayaw.
All right. Before I share my experiences here in Singapore, so nag-echo. Hold on. This question is for Joy from Marianne Guevara. Mom Joy mentioned that some of her students were online but don't participate. Are you going to fail students who will meet you online but will not participate in your activity?
No. We had the memo, we cannot fail kids during this pandemic. So no.
Okay. So I hope
we have to follow the district's order. Yeah.
Marianne, I hope that suffices the answer to your question.
We cannot penalize the students, right, Marcel?
Yeah. But we don't know for next school year.
Okay. Here in Singapore, how do we address the needs of every student? Again, it's a different demographic. Okay, I can't emphasize that more. But in our schedule during virtual learning, which is 9:15 to 3, we embedded academic follow-ups on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, where students can go to the class they need help. If they need help with math, science, or any subject, then they can attend those academic follow-ups. There's 3 in our PLC or professional learning community. So we're doing the intervention part once a week. So it's not difficult for the teachers. In addition, we also have a learning support teacher that is assigned to the teacher. So during virtual learning, we designed groups wherein the learning support teacher can join that small group to provide smaller group intervention to those kids needing help. And for the most part, our students are self-directed learners. So most of them are doing the blue and black level questions when they're ready with the green level questions. So again, it's one of the best school all over the world. So I can't emphasize that. So the students are really lucky to be part of our school. Question number 8. I know there's some questions regarding parent involvement from our audience. I can't remember the name, but the question is regarding the parents and community involvement. How can teachers best use parents and community members to support students? Also, I think Joy mentioned about some paraprofessionals working with students with IEP, 504. We have counselors. What's your experiences regarding involving the parents and the community?
So I will tell you, and I can tell you that parent involvement in my school is very low. Okay, and that is not new. That is actually that is a very common trend in high schools, especially in urban settings like my school. So when this pandemic hit us, I can tell you that I am only able to get messages mostly from my students dahil high school na yung level na tinuturuan ko. I don't really have to call the parents and tell them kung ano yung dapat gawin nila with their child. Kaya nga, ang ginagamit ko yung Remind, so I just communicate with them through Remind and tell them kung ano yung dapat namin gawin. However, with the D, when I say D, ito yung mga mababa na talaga sila. Okay, with the D and F kids, I had asked my TA to really reach out to the parents of these kids dahil ito yung project, ito yung a group na we wanna work with to stretch their D to a C or better, or yung mga F to stretch their grade to a D or better. And I am able to communicate with, I would say, 3 parents, 4 parents via email, but not through phone, via email. Most phone calls were done by my TA. I cannot emphasize how very important the parents have to be involved in the education of their children, because I'm a parent as well and I'm very involved. But again, from the community that I serve, mahirap mong hilain yung mga magulang para ma-involve sila sa mga anak nila. But slowly we're getting there. So we're hoping na because of what happened, this experience, na sana mas maging involved pa yung mga magulang. Kasi very important sila sa edukasyon ng mga anak nila.
Yeah, when I was in LAUSD, I experienced the same thing, right? You send email to the parents, you send Connect Ed messages. With them, no response, right? Yeah. So it was really challenging. In fact, when we had like parent meetings, if you have 33% attendance rate, that's a great turnout already. And that's 180-degree difference here in Singapore. When we do parent-teacher conference, about 99% of parents are present. They are highly involved in the students' education. They're very supportive. And that's one thing they really appreciate. When we're talking about the education system, it has to be a collaboration between teachers, students, parents, and the community. It can't just be happening based on the resources of the teachers. You need to really involve the parents, right? And that becomes more challenging when it's difficult to reach out to those parents. Again, it's a different community, so we have different challenges. Marcel, any insight regarding parent involvement at your school?
Actually, may mga parents talaga na ano rin, active sa school namin. Meron kaming Facebook page for PTA. At meron din silang Instagram. So, mga parents nag-share ng mga information din. So, siguro maganda rin yun for now. Like, kasi most Filipinos may Facebook, di ba? Ano pa ba? Like yung school namin, they offer trainings for parents for digital citizenship. So, yung mga announcement na yan, pinopost yan sa Facebook din, even to the school website. Yung school website din, very useful yan sa school namin. Tsaka, ano pa ba? Yun din, yung phone calls na, ano ba tinatawag nila? PSA calls, pre-recorded message. Ganon, ganun. Hindi ko lang masabi how effective na parents will receive the information, pero siguro spread of word or kung Facebook or whatever social media, dun lang nila nare-receive information.
Okay, thank you. I want to say thank you again to all our viewers who are still with us. Levi Calma, thank you. Bethany Santiago, Melva Gonzalez, Salvacion Aquino, Livilla Senoron, Imelda de Guzman, Josh, Jackie, Inolita Villanueva, Livelia Senoron, Magna Giritan, John Polario, Jillia Angel Moncada, Inolata Villanueva. Thank you for watching. All right, here's our next question from an FB post. She is at Sitwab Satid. The question is, to what extent can online education be more effective than in-person teaching? I think we know the answer to this already, but we just want to hear from you, Joy and Marcel. And I think the audience will agree. Comparing virtual learning and in-person teaching. Yeah. What do you think?
Nothing can replace in-person teaching. Yeah.
100%, I agree with that as well, right? The only thing that we can do is make the virtual learning as close as possible to the classroom setup experience, but nothing compares the actual classroom teaching, right? The connection that you're building with the kids. It's different when you're doing it virtually. Although because of this pandemic, right, what's more important? Our safety, right? So I think there's a need for virtual learning. So that's why we are in the virtual learning. But I agree with you, Joy. In-person teaching is more effective than the virtual learning.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. What about you, Marcel? Do you agree with us?
I agree. Like face-to-face interaction with the teachers, with the students.
I hope our audience, the parents and students for sure. In fact, when we came back to the school, I think June 3rd, the students were really excited. What they said what they were missing is that connection with the students, because you see each other on Zoom or Google Meets, but it's different when you are actually in the classroom setting. So again, online education is not even close to the in-person teaching, right? Yeah. Okay, I think here's the next.
Danny, before you say something, because of virtual teaching, alam mo yung mga estudyante, I will just speak for my students. My students, ngayon lang nila in-appreciate ang kanilang mga teachers. Ngayon lang nila sinabi na, oh my goodness, sabi niya, I miss you, miss. Ganyan, kailan ba tayo babalik? That's what they say. So they have become more grateful, more appreciative of what we do with them in the classroom, with what's happening. Pag nandun ka, para bang, okay, it's a different life. Yeah. But because of what happened, they became very, very, very grateful, very appreciative, at very, ano ba sila, very thoughtful. Pagka nag-send ka ng remind message, they will even ask, how are you, miss? Take care, stay safe. May mga paganong drama pa sila.
Yes. I think one benefit for virtual learning at least I see here with our students is the students build connection with their siblings, with their parents, because we designed our class we're in 12 to 1, they have the same lunch with grade school students, middle school, and high school kids. So parents are also working from home. Students are doing virtual learning. So they have 12 to 1 lunch together. So if you have working parents, that don't usually happen, right? But because of virtual learning, that 12 to 1 is allotted for the students and the parents to build as a family. So I think they become closer during the virtual learning. So at least that's one thing that I see positive happening during virtual learning. All right, here's our difficult question from Anna. Are you guys ready to answer this? Okay, here's the question. Okay, the question is, magkano po ang average monthly salary ng teachers sa US? Worth it po ba na iwanan ang permanent position sa public school? Especially you, Joy, because you were teaching at Philippine Normal University as a professor, and then you resigned and moved to the US.
Yes.
Okay. So start with that. Let's start, Joy.
So, to be honest, when I was in the university, yung sahod ko naman doon is okay as an associate professor. It was okay kasi on top of my salary based on my salary grade, I also have extra pay for the extra classes that I teach. So okay naman, hindi naman ano, but of course, yung sahod mo dito is a lot bigger, and you know, but it also depends on what state you're gonna go. Okay, when Gani and I were in Florida, ang sahod namin doon mababa compared kay LA. Okay, because LA is a bigger school district, so mas malaki ang pondo niya, so mas malaki ang pasahod nila. So ang sahod dito is just like in the public school in the Philippines, depende rin kung anong salary grade level mo. So may progression din. If you Google it online, yung LAUSD salary pay scale, makikita niyo naman doon kung ano yung sweldo mo. So once you're on the top, nandun ka na sa, ano bang salary grade yung Gani, hindi ko na alam dito. I don't even check, okay? Medyo maganda na ang sahod mo if you're already there na max mo na yung points na kailangan mo to be in that level. So yeah, to be a teacher dito, if you're a teacher in LA or in New York, lalo na sa New York City or sa mga inner city schools na mga malalaking school districts, the pay is really good. It's very enticing.
Can you give us approximate an amount, Ma'am Joy?
So, to be honest, hindi ko alam. I have to Google it kung...
Okay. I can share some numbers.
Yeah, mas alam mo yon kasi ikaw ang nag-check ng numbers, ako I don't. I just depend on what comes.
Okay, so just like sinabi ni Joy, salary depends on one, kung saang state ka nag-work,
Yes.
saang district ka nag-work, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we joined Florida in 2004, mababa lang yung sahod ko during that time. I think that time I was earning 120,000 pesos a month. Kasi about, I think 33,000 annually US dollars during that time.
Yeah, something like that.
It's based on your numbers of experience then, and then your academic achievements. Kung meron kang MA, kung meron kang PhD. When we moved to California, it's more than double. right? I know when I joined Los Angeles Unified School District, I think ang starting salary then was like 6,000 US dollars. So about 300,000 pesos. And then of course, meron kang extra summer class. From 2007 to 2012, Joy and I always worked 12 months. Masipag kami magturo ng summer class. So, and again, merong mga extras, right? If you work at a high poverty schools or Title I schools, mas malaki yung sahod. I know, pwede kang mabot ng up mga 500,000 per month.
Yeah.
Right?
Pero malaki ng tax, okay?
Yes, the salary is one, but also you need to consider the cost of living. Sa LA, New York, syempre mas mahal ang cost of living dyan, right? Salaries is one thing. You also have to consider, nag-sponsor ba sila ng green card, citizenship, right? Because I know yung mga teachers dyan sa Philippines, when they go to the US, they want to have that citizenship. It's not just the salary, right? Sana magkaroon tayo ng siguro magkaroon tayo ng isang webinar regarding application process lang sa US. Marcel, what about you? Any input regarding the average monthly salary daw ng teachers?
Actually, ano ba? Like,
Parang-
compare natin, sweldo ko sa Don Bosco noon, it was 12,000 pesos. So, it's like $300. Pagdating ko na LA, yung net income ko for 1 month is 3,000. Nasa $3,000. So, parang 10 times yung worth ng sweldo. But then, yeah, consider the cost of living. Like, my rent at that time, nasa $800. Okay, so, ano pa yung mga ibang expenses na kailangan? So, yung salary mo malaki, pero expenses malaki kasi nga, the location, the state, California, mataas din ang tax.
Yeah.
Ang tanong, worth it po ba ang iwanan ng permanent position?
Is it?
Well, kasi ako, single ako, walang family. So, talagang, I took the risk.
Yeah.
So, and,
maraming considerations, right? When you apply for a job in the US, maraming considerations. Like what you've said, kung may family ka, worth it ba na iwanan yung family mo? Or kung mag-apply ka ng US, I highly suggest na ang goal mo is to bring your family with you sa US din. Like Marcel, I'm also single. So it's okay for me to leave my work in Manila in 2004. And again, mataas din yung tax, right? Like in California, kapag single ka, during my time, I think I was paying about 30% of my salary napunta lang sa tax. I am fortunate when I moved here in Singapore. Yes, mataas ang cost of living sa Singapore, but our employers provide us with housing, allowance, stipends, things like that. I will not mention the salary, pero ang stipend namin is about 200,000 pesos. So, I'm earning much more compared sa salary ko sa US. So, at the same time, dito, mas malapit sa Philippines. So, nung wala pang pandemic, I can always go back to the Philippines once or twice a month. You can get $300 na ticket, nasa Philippines ka na, right? And then also merong allowance, travel allowance going to your home country. And then meron ding professional development funds every year. So if you wanna attend a training sa US or any part of the world, merong mga annual budget for that. And another consideration then, aside from the monthly salary, is the retirement benefits. I
Yeah.
think yan yung one thing na maganda naman sa California. Maganda yung benefits ng mga teachers kapag nag-retire sila.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Just imagine the fact na after our retirement, may health benefits pa rin kami.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very important. I guess that is one of the factors that is telling me na I guess I made the right decision, because you also have to think about yung health mo, because you also have to invest on your health. Okay? Kung sa Pilipinas, magkano ang hospital dyan? Dito, luckily, because we have an insurance na through the district, so we don't worry pagka ma-hospital kami.
Yeah.
At ang maganda rin, di ba, Ma'am Joy, pati family.
Yes, kasama ang family sa insurance mo. So they're covered. Yeah.
Yung mga Filipino teachers ang kinoconsider, kahit yung mga American teachers din dito, kaya sila nag-stay for teaching, right? Kasi yung health benefits ng this.
In the US, sinasabi pa rin na underpaid yung mga teachers, right? Compared to other profession, yes, underpaid ang teachers. In fact, may mga activists nagsabi the starting salary dyan sa US should be $100,000 annually. Sana mangyari yon, right? Compared to other professions.
We have budget, Danny.
So sana mangyari yon, right? Again, Joy and Marty Sell are teachers at a public school in the US. I would say mas mataas yung benefits ng public school teachers sa US compared sa mga private schools, right? It's magkaiba sa Philippines. Here in Singapore, I'm teaching at an international school. It's a private school. Ang isang question is magkano ang tuition fee? May kamahalan ang tuition fee dito sa aming school. Ang tuition fee ng mga estudyante ay nagre-range from 1.8 million pesos to 2.5 million pesos annually. And so yun, medyo mahal ang tuition fee dito sa school namin sa Singapore. Again, it's 1.8 to 2.5 million. Ang mga estudyante namin ay karamihan mga anak ng mga expats. And yun, it's a private school. So magkaiba.
Well, sa amin naman dito, just so you know, kasi I know most of you are public school teachers. Dito, when you say public school teacher, mostly everything that the child needs is provided by the school. Hanggang sa kahuli-hulihang lapis at papel, ibibigay sa'yo ng school.
Yeah.
Pati pagkain, libre.
Lunch, supper.
Yeah. Kahit after program yan, pati pagkain, libre. So,
madaming budget kasi ang US, di ba?
yeah. Especially if your school is a Title I school, so you have the budget. Yeah.
Thank you, Ma'am Joyce, Jens, Espinita, Jasmine, Imelda, Constantina, Magna, Giritan, Imelda, thank you for watching. Meron pa mga questions sa Joy and Marcel. Do you still have time to answer this? It's ready for 33. Okay. So ito yung question from Jans. Ang question niya, do you think freezing the school for a year is the best solution? Because not everyone will be given the opportunity with a new platform of learning.
I don't think it is a solution.
Freezing the school. You're not freezing the
school for the whole year.
If you mean just closing the school, but you're saying
continuous pa rin ang learning.
Yeah, as long as continuous pa rin yung learning, yeah. It's difficult to freeze the school for a year.
Yeah. Yeah, the question is about freezing the school. I think I would say, the actual classroom setting is freeze, but dapat meron pa ring blended learning, whether modular approach or online learning or mix of other modalities, right? So, but freezing the school for a year, I think is not a good option for the students.
Yeah.
Lalo
You know,
sa
go ahead.
lalo ang Philippines ay nasa last ranking based on the latest PISA results, right? I think it's not good for the students na without education for a whole year.
Yeah, no.
It's not practical.
Yeah. Mahirap.
Okay, we have another question from Imelda de Guzman. What do you think is the most effective way or tool to keep the learners' attention in their studies since no face-to-face learning will be allowed?
Oh, Imelda, as soon as I attended the webinar for Nearpod, I tried it out. Nag-create ako ng lesson for Nearpod and I enjoyed it. And mula nung ginamit ko yung digital tool na yon, I see that my students are interacting with me more pag nagtuturo ako sa Zoom. Because meron siyang feature na matching pairs. So, makita mo yung mga bata magtatrabaho and then there's an immediate feedback. Or meron yung, dahil wala kang blackboard pero meron siyang collaborate board, yung mga bata mag-post doon ng questions or kung ano man yung gusto nilang i-post about yung question na itatanong mo. Meron din yung feature niya na i-quiz mo sila and then again there's an immediate feedback. So that was one way na nag-increase yung engagement compared to when I was just using the whiteboard ng Zoom na nagsasalita lang ako and I don't even know kung naiintindihan nila ako at nag-i-interact sila. But as soon as I did that Nearpod, kaya ako, just what Gani said, just choose 3. I'm just limiting myself to 3. I don't have to reinvent the entire wheel. So if I'm good with Google Suite and then i-implement ko si Nearpod and then si Edgenuity, I'm good. I don't have to do so many other things kasi mawiwindang ang lola nyo. Okay?
What about you, Marcel?
Meron ako, i-share ko lang yung na nakita ko sa friend ko. Ang gumagamit siya ng Bitmoji Classroom. And then, yung Bitmoji Classroom, meron dun choice boards. I-click niya yung di ba yung Bitmoji, yung parang cartoon face mo. I don't know if you're familiar with the app, no? So, pwede siyang gawing sa Google Slides, tawag doon Bitmoji Classroom. So, meron dong choice boards, kung ano yung pwedeng piliin ng bata, kung ano yung kind of kunyari nag-post ka na assignment, pero meron different ways of doing the homework. Whatever fits dun sa schedule ng bata or dun sa learning style ng bata. So, ayun. And yun yung nakita kong very, parang interesting, interactive din kasi siya. I like also Nearpod, Ma'am Joy, yung sinabi niya. Meron din yung Desmos. Nakita ko interactive din siya. GeoGebra. I figured out din also na yung GeoGebra pwede siyang i-embed sa Schoology. Maraming mga interactive website.
Yeah. Thank you, Marcel and Joy, for sharing those resources. Siguro i-add ko na lang kasi na-mention ko na rin yung mga several online tools kanina. Imelda, I think ang important factor to make this really effective is to involve all stakeholders, students, parents, and yung school community. Kailangan clear yung communication and yung norms para smooth yung implementation ng virtual learning. Kasi kung kahit na gaano ka-prepared sa lahat ng mga tools na yan, if the stakeholders will not work together, it's going to be useless, right? Yeah. So, work together. I think this is the time, kagaya ng sinabi kanina, magbayanihan. I would say in the Philippines, lahat ng mga grade 7 math teachers, for example, share your resources para hindi na kayo mag-create on your own. Divide and conquer. Yan yung ginagawa namin sa aming PLC para hindi stressful sa mga teachers. If you have other questions, post them in the comment section. If you don't have other questions, we have 2 more left, but we will try to answer if you have other questions. Ang last question, Ma'am Joy and Marcel, is from John. The question is, maraming guro sa Pinas ang nagnanais makapagturo din sa Amerika. What can you advise to the teachers? Advice for them.
John, handa ka na ba? Because you have to give up so much. When I say so much, talagang as in so much. Okay? Dito, you have to force yourself to wake up in the morning. You cook for yourself. You do everything basically. Kailangan thick skin ka na kahit because you are going to be the minority in your school, no matter what, kailangan thick skin ka. Kailangan lunukin mo ang pride mo. Halimbawa, doktor ka dyan, may PhD ka dyan, pupunta ka rito, ay hindi mo pwedeng sabihin PhD holder tong kausap mo, wag mo akong lalaitin. Hindi pwedeng ganon. Kailangan humble ka. Kailangan in every little way, maging very helpful ka at ipakita mo na ikaw ay makatao. No matter what, hindi pwedeng may MA ako, ikaw nga wala. Hindi pwedeng ganon. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na top graduate ka ng school mo, most outstanding teacher ka sa Pilipinas. Hindi pwedeng ganon. So when you are really ready to come, kailangan just for in my own experience, you make a list on your own. Ano yung kaya mong i-give up? Okay? Ano yung hindi mo kayang i-give up? You have to weigh it. Because when I left, to be honest with you, ayokong mag-resign sa PNU. Just like what Gani said when we left the Philippines, it was a teacher exchange visa. So we do not know the future. Kung kami ay magiging green card holder dito, eventually becoming a citizen, we do not know. The future is uncertain. Kaya nga ako initially, when I met with Dr. Rosas, she was the president then at PNU, sabi ko, Dr. Rosas, gusto ko lang pong mag-leave. Kung papayagan niyo po sana ako, mag-leave lang po ako ng 3 taon. Kasi 3 taon lang naman yung kontrata. And I was very honest na I'm leaving and going to West Palm Beach and be a teacher. Okay? But, gawa nga ng sabi niya na kailangang i-give up ko daw yung item ko para yung mga temporary teachers makuha yung item ko at hindi ako maging selfish, I have to give it up, not even knowing kung ano yung mangyayari in the future. But you have to trust. I know that you are all very prayerful individuals, so you have to trust. Magdasal ka. You have to lay it out kung ano ba yung talagang gusto mo. Okay? I can tell you, I don't regret. Siguro kung may isa man akong regret, hindi ko natapos yung PhD ko. But who cares? Okay? I don't need to be a PhD holder to teach high school here. I need that kung babalik ulit ako sa college para magturo. Okay? And I already selected my passion and my goal, which is really just to be a teacher and be with my students. So, kung ikaw ay handa na talaga na i-give up mo ang position mo dyan sa Pilipinas, sa school mo, why not? Give it a try. Pero, kung ikaw ay maganda naman na ang buhay mo dyan, maganda na yung sahod, stable na ang buhay mo dyan, you have to think twice. And 3 times maybe. You know?
All right. Thank you, Joy. What about you, Marcel? Tip for the teachers wanting to go to the US as well to teach.
Well, kailangan talaga mentally, physically, emotionally prepared ka kung gusto mo talagang pumunta magturo na Amerika. Kasi I know some people na depression kalaban talaga sa Amerika kasi sa lungkot. Like, kailangan may support ka rin dito sa Amerika. Ako wala akong family, but then I have friends. And also siguro yung inner motivation ko. Kasi my initial motivation is to come to US to teach so I can save money and put up my own school in the Philippines. Ganun yung ano ko. So, kahit na minumura ako ng bata sa ano, sabi ko, ay, nako, hindi sa akin papalagyan. Ganun ba? So, yun lang. And totoo yun. Kailangan fixed skin ka nga, sabi nga ni Ma'am Joy. Iiyak ka at iiyak ka dahil syempre sama ng loob. Pero kailangan labanan. And then, same time, kailangan may work ethics ka rin. Hindi dahil pumunta ka dito, gusto kong mag-New York kasi hindi pa nakapunta ng New York. Kailangan, priority mo pa rin matapos yung work mo. And then, tsaka kailangan din yung attitude ng mo as a person, as a teacher. Kailangan down to earth ka pa rin. Sakto yung sinabi ni Ma'am Joy. Hindi porket may PhD ka, feeling mo mas magaling ka or mas matalino ka sa kanila. Hindi, kailangan maging down to earth ka.
Okay.
Yun lang.
Yeah, siguro idadagdag ko na lang yung para sa mga teachers na nagnanais makapagturo sa US, ang mga in-demand na positions ay math, special ed, science, and sa mga ibang schools, nag-hire na rin sila ng mga English teachers. So, but math, science, SPED, yun yung priority. So, if you want to go to the US and teach, yun yung tatlong areas na yun. So, whether it's your bachelor's degree or master's degree, maging qualify ka to teach in those areas. Usually, ang kailangan din ng mga schools ay you have at least 3 years of teaching experience. Yung ibang mga agencies nag-require ng 5 years of experience. So, dapat meron kang requirement na yon. And then, master's degree is not a requirement. But of course, kung meron kang MA, it can be an advantage on your part during the interview pa rin, right? But yeah, you need to be ready. Kung gusto mo, you need to prepare yourself in all aspects. And Marty Sell also mentioned about stress din, no? Meron ding experience ng stress, loneliness. Syempre may one yung family mo. I've experienced those when I was in California for several years. But you have friends, right? Joy is a friend of mine. You need to find your family. Yeah, doesn't have to be by blood, but you have your friends and build a family through your friends. Okay, it's 4:48. Last advice, kung meron pa. I think wala na akong nakikitang questions sa ating mga audience, but we still have 60 viewers. To respect them, if you guys have other questions, please type your questions in the comment section, and we will try to answer them. I hope I have answered most of your questions, but before we give our final words, thank you for watching. Yung mga certificates will be available tonight at 8 p.m. sa Celzo Academy page. So make sure you follow Celzo Academy. Mag-plug na ako. Para updated kayo kung kailan kung available na ang certificates. At the same time, if you want, please subscribe na rin sa YouTube Celzo Academy. Joy and Marcel, any last few words? Thank you for watching, Magna. Still watching, Jans, Christian, Marichu from Zamboanga del Norte, Imelda de Guzman, you're still here with us. Enolita Villanueva, thank you for watching. Joy, Marcel, last few words?
Yeah, sabihin ko lang sa inyo, kung kayo ay nai-stress, ang inyong anxiety ay mataas dahil frustrated kayo sa virtual learning, I just want you to know you're not alone. Hindi kayo nag-iisa sa laban na iyan. I know na it's tough, okay? It has been a battle. Mahirap talaga itong nangyari sa atin. But I cannot stress enough the importance of mental health and emotional health. Kaya kung talagang hindi umuubra ang ginagawa ninyo, don't worry, you're not alone. Okay? Marami rin yung nakaka-experience ng na-experience ninyo. Don't give up. Okay? To show your fighting spirit. Kasi pag nakikita ng mga estudyante nyo na nandyan pa rin kayo, you're caring for them, you show na kahit papano, in spite of what's going on, you're there to support them, provide instruction. You will see how they will appreciate you and love you even more. Okay? And on the other side, kung again babalik ulit ako sa pagnanais ninyo na makapunta rito, when that advertisement na nakasulat lang sa coupon band na nakapaskil sa wall sa PNU, I have hesitations din na mag-apply kasi sabi ko, bakit papel lang yan tapos pentel pen lang yung gamit na nakamark. I had hesitations then, pero yung PhD cohort ko kasi sabi, let's just try. So I tried, and then I was called the year after, and you know, it is what it is. You know, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And if you are really wishing to come, look, research, mag-Google kayo. Kasi pagkaalam ng Filipino community sa isang state, sa isang city na may mga parating, ang bayanihan ay grabe. Okay? So just so you know, para hindi kayo mag-isip na, ay paano pag nagpunta ako? So meron kaming tinatawag dito na bayanihan is spirit where we become family, kagaya nga ng sabi ni Gan. The friends become your family. And you become closer to them compared to your blood family.
Thank you, Joy. Marcel, last few words or tips for our viewers and teachers in particular?
I agree with Ma'am Joy. Talagang self-care, no? Yun, ang ano ko lang, if you need anything, support, questions kayo, I have a Facebook, so pwede nyo akong message. Networking lang yan eh, para like sharing of resources, ganyan. So kung kailangan nyo ng support or assistance sa isang digital app or tools na talagang gusto nyong gamitin, and then you don't know how to use it, and then we know how to use it, yeah, sa akin pwede nyo ako i-message. So, yun lang. I don't know if Sir Gani has a platform for question and answer and support. But meron akong Facebook, so look for the Losig.
Yeah. I have created some platforms, especially designed for students wanting to do some math reviews. Meron akong math review group sa Google Classroom. It's available for 200 students. I will post the class code later. And then for the teachers naman, meron din akong create na group. It's Teaching and Learning Google Classroom. So I've been sharing resources there. And because I'm planning to do Zoom sessions with the students and teachers para more interactive ang session with them. Also, next month, I will be working with math teachers from Anda, Pangasinan, like a PLC work. So lahat ng grade 7 teachers, grade 8, grade 9, 10, 7, 8, 9, and 10, para i-roll out yung professional learning community work. Kasi at this time, this difficult and trying times, kailangan talagang we work together, share resources, don't work in isolation. I think one thing na naging positive result ng virtual, ng COVID-19 na to ay at least digitally, we become closer and we collaborate more, at least on our side here, we collaborate more digitally. So it doesn't matter where you are now, hindi na lang sa workplace mo, but you can reach out to other students and teachers all over the world. And that's why nga 3 months ago, I started this Celzo Academy, envisioning to help students and teachers around the globe. And Joy and Marcel, I can't thank you enough for sharing your expertise and experiences during this virtual learning for the students in particular sa Philippines. So again, thank you so much sa inyong dalawa. It's almost 2 a.m. in California. But,
5 minutes to 2 a.m.
yeah, but before 2 a.m., let's try to finish this at 2 a.m. in California. But I just want to promote our upcoming webinars. So next Saturday, we will have June 27. We will have a topic on addressing the learning needs of all students. We have teachers from California and Washington will be joining us next Saturday. And July 4th, we will be talking about professional learning community. And we have a guest from Nevada, USA. And we hope to have more teachers from the US as well. That's every Saturdays. And Wednesdays, I do Wednesday webinars to help the students and professionals as well, to help them with their upcoming exams. I know malapit na ang LET exam, civil service exam, and college entrance test is also coming up, especially UPCAT, ASET, and the LaSalle assessment. So June and July, medyo hindi ganong busy the summer class here in Singapore. So I have the time to prepare this. And again, I want to say thank you to all teachers who are willing to share their expertise. And thank you din sa lahat ng ating mga audiences. If you have questions, so we have addressed, I hope that we addressed our learning targets for today. And if you guys have other questions, you can message me at celzoacademy@gmail.com, or you can also connect with me on my Facebook page, Celzo Academy. Meron ding group review. It's called Math Made Easy by Celzo Academy. I also share math review materials there to help our incoming college students and let examinees, I think, in September, and our civil service exam. So again, with this, I want to say thank you again to all our viewers. I hope itong webinar na to, I was able to give you some insights transitioning to the virtual learning. We hope to provide more webinars based on the needs of our friends, especially teachers in the Philippines. So again, thank you so much. And thank you, Marcel and Joy. I hope to see you soon in California.
I know. 1 year ago, nandito ka.
Yes. So sana next year. We don't know, right?
I know.
All right. So have a great morning in California and good afternoon, viewers from the Philippines. Have a great weekend, everyone.
I know. Happy Sunday.